Now at 5.
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Tuesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And I know I heard the thunder last night, but I didn't see much lightning with it.
Yeah, these storms were a lot stronger, especially south and west of us. They weakened, thankfully, when they reached us. Yeah, some lightning, some downpours, but thankfully we missed a lot of the strength of these storms. Now today, no storms expected, Gary. In fact, it's a similar start temperature-wise like yesterday, in the 70s. As I mentioned, this cold front rolling through isn't really a strong one. In fact, it's somewhat variable as these south winds are trying their best to keep this heat and humidity here locally. But again, unlike yesterday, we're not going to see 90-degree temperatures today. We start out warm, but only gain a few degrees. With the high moisture content in the atmosphere, areas of patchy fog have started to form. Along with that, some light drizzle. You might encounter on your morning commute out there. Might have to use your windshield wiper a few times. Not very strong, but it's somewhat of a nuisance as you're heading out to work today. So aside from that lingering drizzle, expect mostly cloudy skies today. The highs only in the upper 70s to low 80s. Closer to sunset, we'll see some of those clouds break and peaks of sunshine move in. Otherwise, a mainly dry day today following this morning's drizzle. Then, we're tracking another dry day tomorrow, but storm and rain chances return later on in the week. We'll talk about that in a lot more detail in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Well, many gathered for
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 5:13 as you head out the door early today. It's another warm start like yesterday. Not entirely dry though. We've got a few clouds, patchy fog, and some light drizzle as you head out the door this morning. So overall, it's a slightly unsettled start, but besides that, there's no big impacts to the weather today. The light drizzle will eventually end, and as you can see here, there's some of that falling in parts of the Mohawk Valley early today. So, in the wake of this morning drizzle and fog, we'll see mostly cloudy skies work in by the early afternoon. That turns to some peaks of sunshine closer to the sunset hour. So overall today, expect a damp start, a warm morning, and a warm afternoon. It's not warming up into the 90s like yesterday, mainly upper 70s, low 80s. So not that hot today, but we'll go into a lot more detail of that forecast today. Plus, again, an early preview of the Boilermaker coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Thanks. Severe storms, including possible tornadoes from the remnants of Tropical Depression Chantal, are wreaking havoc on the Raleigh-Durham area of North Carolina. Durham saw severe flooding along the Eno River, with homes and businesses impacted. A portion of the interstate near Durham was closed on Monday. The National Weather Service confirmed at least 4 tornadoes touched down as Chantal moved through the area. The time right now is 5:15. Here
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. A little foggy up here on Smith Hill, overlooking the city of Utica. On this Tuesday, it's a damp, warm start to the day. Before we get to that forecast, though, yesterday I had the privilege of stopping by MLK Elementary in Utica. Got to chat with these extremely smart group of kids here who kept me on my toes with questions asked, some of which I actually even know the answer to. One of them being where the name Thunder came from. Never really thought about that, which is interesting. It's an old, I believe, Norse or Old English saying that eventually turned into the word thunder, but was not prepared for that. So thank you to this, again, amazing group of kids and the amazing staff there at MLK Elementary for allowing me to come and present yesterday morning. Cooperstown, live view outside, 68-degree temperature. It's a somewhat dry morning down there. Some other spots waking up to some light drizzle. We still have this cold front. It's moving very, very slow. The reason why it's moving slow, what's left of Chantal, which is now a post-tropical depression, eventually just a broad area of low pressure exiting out to sea. But there's enough energy to slow down this front a little bit, which is what's keeping things a little bit on the unsettled side this morning. Now, I feel like every time I do these forecasts, it doesn't really turn out well for What the Truck. Something happens where there's rain or storms and they have to cancel. So apologies for the staff at What the Truck if you're watching this right now. But don't worry, this afternoon it's going to be dry. It's going to be great weather for What the Truck. Maybe you have to stop by, who knows. Haven't been there so far this year, but either way, it's going to be a dry afternoon for that if you're thinking of plans to do this evening. Something else to do this evening, too, if you want to mow the lawn. Yeah, it might be a little bit damp out there, but it does dry up. Dry on Wednesday, and then showers and scattered downpours here and there on Thursday. MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. So that front moves through today. Quieter conditions move in as we head into this afternoon and this evening. All this drizzle and cloud cover turns to peaks of sunshine before sunset. After some patchy fog and clouds tomorrow morning, sun moves in the afternoon with high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Then as we head into Thursday, things turn more unsettled with some spotty showers overnight into early Thursday morning. Sporadic on and off downpours here and there throughout Thursday evening and during the overnight. Still, though, an early preview for Boilermaker weekend, especially Boilermaker Sunday. There's some uncertainty as to the rainfall. I'm leaning more towards this possibility here. It's a dry morning, a humid morning, and then we'll see rain showers develop throughout the afternoon, some potentially producing some rumbles of thunder. Still, though, your 7-day forecast, we're in the 80s for the next several days, upper 70s if that's seasonable this time of year. No major heat or cool down, and chances for rainfall here and there, but there's plenty of opportunity for sunshine. Overall, not too bad of a stretch, Gary. It's we're entering mid-July, and it feels like mid-July out there today.
Yeah. Good riddance to the 90s, right?
Yes.
Eric, thanks. A local World War II veteran for this half hour. I'm Gary Libitor. Will we see a repeat of our 90-degree temperatures that we saw yesterday today? Meteorologist Eric Gage over in the Weather Center. And Eric, you were mentioning not quite as hot, right?
Not quite as hot. Well, the only similarity is it's a warm start like yesterday, already in the 70s. In fact, look at those temperatures here across the area. 72 in Rome, 68 in Hamilton. But the difference, for one, as you mentioned, it's not going to be nearly as hot, but it's not also dry to start today. We have some lingering drizzle here. In fact, light rain reported in Hamilton early today. Along with that, too, patchy fog, the usual sort, following some rain showers that took place yesterday. And then, as you can see here, very faint signatures of that drizzle moving through central New York. So mainly nuisance rainfall early today with patchy fog. And those temperatures climb only into the upper 70s, low 80s. So nowhere close to 90, 91, 92 like yesterday. But we will see the opportunity for sunshine this evening. Peaks of sunshine before sunset and a better shot for sun tomorrow. But overall, there could be some more rain chances in the short-term forecast, maybe on Boilermaker Sunday. We're going to track all those rain chances coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, we want to share a couple of...
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday morning. After storm threats yesterday, thankfully a lot of these storms weakened. Still, there were some pretty strong storms out west. One of them out well west of central New York did have a sighting of a funnel cloud and possible tornado. We're going to look into that too as well. But some of these storms from an approaching front produce wall clouds. This was taken in Fairfield. Shout out to those of you watching from this area this morning, and you can see the faint view of that cloud that's near the surface. Almost looks like again, a wall. And that's the leading edge of these storms that pass over us. So Thank you for this photo submission. If you have one like this you'd like to share with us, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. So in the short-term forecast, no 90-plus degree days are expected, but still, it's really seasonable this time of year. Low 80s, upper 70s. This is a typical July stretch of weather here locally, but along with the sunshine chances, we have some rain chances, even some storm chances, especially the all-important day on Sunday. We're going to break down those forecasts coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The Greater Utica Sports Hall of Fame has released.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Time now 5:48. Early this morning, it's a damp start, clouds, fog, and some patchy drizzle. That'll change throughout the afternoon. Before we get to that forecast, though, a quick shout out to the kids and the staff at MLK Elementary. I was able to visit yesterday morning and asked a lot of great questions. Smart group of kids right here. And again, a shout out to those of you, the parents watching this morning. Again, fantastic group of kids here, and thank you to them as well as the staff for allowing me to come to visit yesterday. When it comes to the weather this morning, again, it's still a warm start. Temperatures upper 60s, low 70s. And the radar picking up on some light drizzle as this very slow-moving cold front is just struggling to pass over us right now. The reason why it's taking so long is what's left of Chantal here, post-tropical depression, exiting out to the north and east, but still that south surge of winds are what's slowing this down here locally, what's causing the drizzle this morning. So if you have any plans of doing any yard work today, you want to do it later on when the rain or the surfaces aren't really that damp, go ahead and do that. Your best bet for mowing the lawn tomorrow with mainly dry weather, and then by Thursday some scattered downpours here and there. If you had to choose for the next 3 days, Wednesday is your best bet. MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. So we look at the bigger picture here. We have this cold front moving through, and as it finally exits our area, we'll see a quiet stretch heading into tomorrow afternoon. But following that, you can see here, low pressure dominates as we look ahead to Thursday with scattered downpours and showers. So early this morning, lingering low-level moisture, fog, clouds, and light drizzle. This afternoon, a few breaks in the cloud cover with sunshine moving in by this evening. Not too bad of an afternoon here locally. Then by Wednesday morning, patchy fog to start your day, sunshine in the afternoon with high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Pretty nice middle of the week. Then by Wednesday nights, we'll see another front move through. This will fire up a few downpours, especially by Thursday morning, and then sporadic hit or miss downpours throughout the afternoon and evening. This doesn't appear to be widespread, but still on and off rain chances with downpour potential. More of an unsettled day, especially unsettled evening and early overnight as we head into Thursday. Still, though, we are closely monitoring the weather for Boilermaker Sunday. Now, you can see here, this is two separate data sets, and one shows rain to our east, one shows rain to our west. We're leaning more toward this scenario right here. A lot of data is pointing to the fact that we may be seeing a dry start, slightly humid, warmer start, upper 60s, low 70s, with the arrival of rain in the afternoon, maybe a few thunderstorms. So those are well, at least that's what we're thinking as we head into Boilermaker Sunday. Either way, we look ahead, at least for the short term. Nice day tomorrow. In fact, pretty nice afternoon following this drizzly start to your day today. Then by Thursday, a few scattered downpours and thunderstorms. Dry Friday and most of Saturday. I guess not too bad of a stretch, Gary. Typical mid-July weather.
After yesterday's heat, boy.
Yes.
Quite a difference. Eric, thanks. Well, it's a sweet treat.
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Tuesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And after yesterday's heat, a little bit of a reprieve, at least later today, right?
Yeah, similar start temperature-wise. We're not going to see that sudden surge of heat like yesterday afternoon. This morning, we wake up in the 70s. Overall, pretty warm morning. But then, That's about as high as we climbed today, maybe upper 70s, low 80s, so no 90-plus degree day today. Still, though, unlike yesterday, it's actually not a dry start. It's a somewhat damp start to your morning. Areas of patchy fog across parts of the southern tier, including here in the higher elevations north of Utica, as well as some patchy drizzle. You can see some of that falling right over parts of central New York. It's happening very close to the ground, so the radar is having a tough time pinpointing it, but it is happening. We are expecting it for much of the morning here, passing on and off drizzle, cloudy skies, and patchy fog. We head into the afternoon. That ends, we dry out, and we have the potential of seeing some peaks of sunshine, especially as we head closer to sunset. You can see here, highs in the upper 70s, low 80s, so no 90s today. But following today, we do have another nice day on tap tomorrow. Maybe some shower and storm chances later on in the week, plus an early preview of Boilermaker Sunday. All that and more in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Many gathered for a candlelight.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back. Time now is 6:13 as you head out to work today. Well, it starts out somewhat unsettled. Some patchy drizzle and fog early today. We take a look outside. Foggy start here from our CATV tower camera overlooking parts of the Mohawk Valley here. And overcast skies in Utica, generally cloudy in Oneonta and in Cooperstown. And look at our traffic tracker, no accidents to report of, but something that just popped up moments ago was just north in the northern portions of Oneida County on Buck Hill Road near Hertz Road, a fallen tree on Route 75. So just a heads up there. It's not a major road, so a lot of you might not be affected by this, but an early heads up for those of you traveling through northern Oneida County. Radar at this time showing patchy light drizzle across the area. So nuisance rain showers early today. That's the main story. Nothing really impactful though. And this afternoon, the sun moves in. Temperatures climb only into the upper 70s to low 80s. We are tracking, of course, more dry weather tomorrow, but some more downpour, rain, storm chances looking ahead. Details on that in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Severe storms, including possible tornadoes from the remnants of Tropical Depression Chantel, are wreaking havoc on the Raleigh-Durham area of North Carolina. Durham saw severe flooding along the Eno River, with homes and businesses impacted. A portion of the major interstate in Durham was closed on Monday, and the National Weather Service confirmed at least 4 tornadoes touched down as Chantel moved through that area. The time right now is 6:50.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning on this Tuesday. It's a damp start to your day today with patchy fog and light drizzle. Sunshine, though, will move in as we head into this afternoon, or in fact closer to this evening. Before we get to that forecast, though, quick shout out to the kids at MLK Elementary for giving me the opportunity to go and present yesterday morning. It was a great group of kids, a lot of great questions, and of course, shout out to the staff allowing me to do the visit yesterday morning. Our view from Cooperstown today shows relatively dry weather there. Temperatures in the upper 60s so far, and it's a warm one in the low 70s in parts of the Mohawk Valley. The reason for it is we've got this slow-moving cold front. This is the same system that brought the storms yesterday, but it's just struggling to eventually push its way through the area. The reason for it? What's left of Chantel, which is now a post-tropical depression, exiting to the north and east throughout the day today. In the meantime, in the wake of this cold front, once it finally passes, we're expecting dry weather as we look ahead to tonight, or this evening, I should say, tonight, and then through much of Wednesday. So if you have to mow the lawn, well, tomorrow is your best bet. Thursday, a few chances for downpours, wouldn't really recommend it, at least compared to our best day of the week, which is tomorrow. MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. So here's that cold front. You notice here we got some stationary symbols here. It's a slow-moving front, and it finally moves through as we head into the overnight hours tonight, making way for a pretty pleasant Wednesday. A warm one, though, mid-80s. And then rain chances return again on Thursday as just this broad area of low pressure moves its way through the area. So look here in the Skycast. Morning drizzle, fog, and clouds today give way to sunshine by this evening, and high temperatures in the upper 70s pushing 80 degrees. Then overnight tonight, we see a return to fog and cloudy conditions. And then by the afternoon, sunshine moves in, and temperatures a little warmer tomorrow compared to today in the low to mid 80s. Then Wednesday night, that high pressure, or at least the very small area we have of it, begins to break down, and we'll see some downpours develop overnight. Thursday, some hit or miss downpours. It's not widespread, but some of these showers could be heavy at times due to that increased moisture. And quickly, we look at a preview of Boilermaker Sunday. For now, you see the data still inconsistent, but we're leaning more towards what this solution shows. There's Utica, there's the rainfall. It starts out dry, slightly humid, and then rain or storms develop in the afternoon. That's the general consensus so far, and we'll change the forecast or modify it a little bit as the days get closer, but for now, that's our early thoughts on Sunday. Again, main thing here, even if it rains a little bit, no lightning. We don't want lightning in those race times, so we'll keep a close eye on that. But again, today, not too bad. Tomorrow, not too bad as well.
We'll be keeping an eye on it all week long. Eric, thanks. Well, today is again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore. Temperatures in the 90s, a thing of the past after yesterday. Meteorologist Eric Gage in with a bit of a cooler forecast for today.
Yeah, it's no longer going to be seeing 90s like we saw yesterday. 70s to start, which is like yesterday morning, but we're not going to warm up all too much throughout the day. What is different this morning compared to yesterday morning, though, is it's a little bit more on the damp side. That lingering moisture from that cold front yesterday is still sticking around. So we got clouds, we got fog, we have light drizzle as well. Here's a look at some visibility conditions across the region. 0 miles at Ithaca, 6 miles Saranac Lake, and some other pockets here and there throughout the central New York area. And a lot of this drizzle this morning is falling below the radar scans. It has a tough time seeing it, but it is happening as it's moving across from the northwest to the southeast. So today, a damp start, light drizzle. You might have some nuisance rain on your windshield as you head out to work today. But that dries up this afternoon with even some peaks of sunshine closer to sunset. High temperatures, upper 70s, low 80s. Following this morning, in fact, after this dry afternoon, we have another dry day tomorrow, but still we're tracking some rain and storm chances, especially as we head in the end of the week, potentially for Boilermaker Sunday. We have a full preview of that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. President Trump now turning his attention to
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back, everybody, on this Tuesday morning. Our photo of the day today takes us to a spot where we got to see a wall cloud of a thunderstorm taken in Fairfield. Shout out to those of you watching in Fairfield this morning. You can see the view there out in the distance of that cloud extending lower to the ground than the rest of them. That's the leading edge of a storm cloud. And of course, here locally, a lot of those storms did weaken, thankfully. It's not quite the same case, especially out in western New York or even in parts of, say, south of Syracuse, heading closer to the border of Chenango County and out west. Those were some of those storms were on the stronger side last night. Either way, we're not tracking any storms today, just some light drizzle in your early morning. Then following that, sunshine in the evening hours, sunshine tomorrow, and then some storm chances Thursday. Storm chances again on Sunday, but of course, main thing here, when will those storms take place Sunday? We'll have all the details on that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The Greater Utica Sports Hall of Fame
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody, on this July 8th. This Tuesday starting out on the damp side with some patchy fog, light drizzle, and cloudy skies. And before we get to the forecast for the day today, I do want to do a quick shout out to a group of kids I got to meet yesterday at MLK Elementary, a school visit where I got to talk about weather, this industry in general, broadcasting, everything like that. Amazing group of kids, lots of great questions. So shout out to the kids and the staff at MLK Elementary for allowing me to come present yesterday morning. Today, again, after this somewhat cloudy and damp start, those temperatures, although very warm, aren't warming up as much as yesterday morning. And the reason for it is we have this cold front which is moving very slow, and in the process going to whisk away some of that moisture, but keeping things on the cooler side this afternoon compared to yesterday. It's also moving slow due to the fact we have what's left of Tropical Storm Chantal, which is now what's left of a post-tropical depression, now eventually just a disorganized area of showers eventually as that rotation weakens. Still, though, today, if you want to mow the lawn, maybe later on as the grass and whatnot dry up, or better yet, Wednesday, your best bet before a few scattered downpours arrive on Thursday. Mowcast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. So here's that front. Again, it's moving very slowly. You can see how this indicates a stationary front right here with the reds and blues. Then as we head into tonight and tomorrow, things look mainly quiet with a mix of sun and clouds. Then by Thursday, or at least late Wednesday night into early Thursday, that's when more rain chances arrive as low pressure moves over us yet again. So we zoom in here to our skycast. Morning clouds and drizzle give way to sunshine this evening and temperatures in the upper 70s, pushing 80 degrees. Tomorrow morning, maybe some pockets of fog and light drizzle, but then it quickly turns to sunshine by the early afternoon, and high temperatures a little warmer in the low to mid 80s. And following that's when we start to see more unsettled weather. A few scattered downpours, not widespread, move to the area heading into the overnight hours, at least early Thursday morning and Thursday evening. So just a heads up later on in the week for the potential for these to fire up here and there. And just quickly, a preview of Boilermaker Sunday. This is an early preview of the data we have right now. Notice over here, there's some rain chances in the morning, and over here, rain chances in the afternoon. We're leaning more towards this solution right here. The data points more so to a dry morning, followed by some showers, potentially some thunderstorms in the afternoon. We'll closely follow that forecast as the days get closer, but for now, again, it's a dry afternoon and a dry day tomorrow, Gary. Not too bad of a stretch. Temperatures hovering in the low 80s for much of the week.
Yeah, definitely good to see those 90 degrees go.
Yes, no intense heat in the near future.
Eric, thanks. Well, it's a sweet treat that...
Gary Liberatore.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We begin once again this noon in Central Texas, where at this hour, the search for survivors continues, but hope is fading. The death toll from last week's catastrophic flooding has now surpassed 100, and many more people remain missing. NBC's Jay Gray has the very latest this noon from Kerrville, Texas.
Well, the Texas Hill Country now in what is the 5th day of the search, rescue, and recovery effort here. We saw choppers in the air well before the sun came up here, and so it's still a 24-hour process, hoping for a miracle, hoping to find someone in what is debris like you see here. All of this pulled from this home, and the people who were here got out as the mud, as the water rushed in, and now they begin slowly to shift towards some type of cleanup here. And really, when you talk to those on the ground, the survivors, they're quick to tell you there's no one in Kerrville or really even Kerr County that has not been affected by what's happened here.
You can't hardly not be affected by the trauma that's going on here right now. I've seen they have had bodies yesterday, day before yesterday, right here, and right here in my backyard, and we just pray for them and just hold them deep in our heart. One of my girls that used to work here, her daughters was at Camp Mystic and didn't make it. And so our heart is just broken over that.
I mean, you can hear the emotion, you can hear the pain of what's been lost here. This is a community that continues to struggle, continues to hope that some of those, the dozens that are missing, will be found alive here as they do make that slow turn toward starting to clean up, starting to face some type of recovery. That's sure to be long, difficult, and they're going to need some help along the way. That's the latest from here in Kerrville. I'm Jay Gray, NBC News.
Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us. And Eric, tough to hear what's going on down in Texas.
Yeah, and the addition of the tropical moisture and just the right conditions for long-lying storms, unfortunately, what caused that there. And here, thankfully, we're not seeing any of those long-lasting storms that would cause situations like that. In fact, today, yes, it's damp out, yes, it's cloudy, but we can sometimes count our blessings, especially living in a place we are right here where that is not a very common event. Yes, we do see flooding, yes, we do see severe storms, but yes, we do see snow, but usually in some other locations, sometimes the weather is a lot more dangerous. Outside, it's cloudy, it's damp, it's slightly cooler. Temperatures are in the 70s right now. In fact, nothing like the 90s we saw yesterday. And yes, still some lingering low-lying moisture out there right now with cloudy skies for the most part. As we head throughout the afternoon, we will see some partial clearing, sunshine before sunset. You have any evening plans today? You might encounter that sun. Either way, we're tracking overall pretty dry day tomorrow, but rain chances ahead. We'll have the details on that in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Brand new this noon. Town of Webb police say a New Jersey man was killed.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are still tracking damp conditions with cloudy skies and overall seasonable temperatures. Yes, it is cooler than yesterday, but really not that much cooler. A look at Oneonta outside right now, overcast skies, damp conditions, temperature at 72 degrees. Now, at this time yesterday, we were pushing 92 with that feels like temperature. So, yes, cooler than yesterday, not nearly as cool than average. Radar at this time still looking a little bit unsettled. We put a time lapse on here in a second, and we can see, of course, some of the light drizzle passing through parts of the area. So because of that still damp start to the day today, if you want to hold off on mowing until late, better yet, your best bet for doing yard work would be tomorrow. With dry weather and temperatures in the upper 70s to as high as the mid 80s. Thursday, a few passing downpours pass over us, so it won't be entirely as dry. MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. So we look at the bigger picture here, and we have what's left of the tropical depression here exiting out to the Atlantic, and we have this very slow-moving cold front to the point where it's labeled as a stationary front here. Then when it exits, which is taking place this evening, we dry out for the most part until tomorrow night into Thursday, when we could see our next chance of some scattered showers and downpours. So let's take a look at right here in the Skycast. We have, of course, that cloudy start to the day today. It's still noontime. We got some patchy drizzle. We head into the evening. That's when things begin to dry up between 5 to 8 p.m. So again, evening plans should be okay with dry conditions. Clouds and fog develop overnight into early Wednesday morning, turning to sunshine Wednesday afternoon and high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. So overall, looks like a pretty dry day on Wednesday. Then Wednesday night, an approaching low pressure begins to fire up a few more showers and downpours to our west. They will continue on and off throughout the day Thursday. Again, these aren't widespread, but you can see some spots here might be hit by a couple of these downpours into the afternoon hours there. So one thing we're closely watching here, the Boilermaker forecast. And you see right here, to the side of me, shows like a lot of rainfall. And to this side, the rain is over to the west. Well, which one do we think is going to be more accurate? We're thinking more towards this solution here. With the data that we're seeing right now, it looks like it's going to be a dry Boilermaker morning, a dry start to the race. Eventually, showers and maybe a few thunderstorms develop in the afternoon. Still, the resolution is very low. We're going to fine-tune that forecast as days get closer, but for now, that's our initial thought on the forecast. We've got still 80s on tap the next several days. It's going to be a pretty seasonable stretch of weather for mid-July. Pretty nice overall with some chances for sunshine here and there, and of course, storm chances here and there as well, but that's to be expected for July weather. So for now, Gary, this is really not too bad of a stretch for July. Can't ask for, well, I guess you have better weather, but it could be worse.
Yeah, at least it's not as steamy as it was yesterday.
My goodness, very hot yesterday.
Ooh, that was nasty. Well, what is nasty? Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, you were mentioning a bit damp out there at this hour.
A little damp. It's a little bit on the cooler side, at least compared to yesterday, but we'll be gradually drying out throughout the next few hours. In fact, outside, yes, it looks a little cloudy, but we'll see a lot more sunshine, at least this evening, and especially throughout the day tomorrow. So we'll get through this cloudy, damp start today. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 radar. We can see some of that drizzle and clouds moving through the area right now. Again, it's not really notable, but somewhat of a nuisance, if you can call it that. The hot spot here in central New York, or I should say in upstate New York, I guess, actually, let me clarify that. Maybe you wouldn't call Poughkeepsie upstate New York here. Those of us that lived up here, we call that downstate. Either way, 87 down there, 70s here across the Mohawk Valley. And we will see the upper 70s, low 80s, the high for today. Peaks of sunshine move in closer to sunset. Dry tonight, mainly dry tomorrow, and then rain chances return. The details on that in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Measles cases in the U.S. are at their highest level since
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. A lack of sunshine for the most part today. Damp conditions with cloudy skies. Temperatures nothing like what we saw yesterday. Live look at Oneonta right now. The temperature sits at 72 degrees. About 24 hours ago, we had that feels like temperature in the low 90s. So either way, today a little cooler and again a little more damp with these clouds and even some spotty rain showers producing some light drizzle. You can see some of that passing through the radar scans right here. A lot of this happening near the surface, so we don't quite see all of this, but for right now, it's still remaining rather damp. We head throughout the afternoon into the evening. The conditions gradually dry up. So if you have any chances for mowing today, later on is your best bet. If not, hold off until tomorrow. Tomorrow's looking to be a mostly dry day. In fact, a warm one with temperatures in the 80s and plenty of sunshine. Thursday, though, is where things turn more unsettled with some on and off downpours, and overall, don't want to dodge some of these. So again, Wednesday's your best bet. Mowcast brought to you by Clinton Tractor. So we have what's left of the tropical storm, which is now just a disorganized area of low pressure exiting out to sea. In the meantime, it was slowing down that cold front. Now that it's exiting, this front's finally starting to speed up again. Going to dry out tonight and again throughout the day tomorrow. We head into Thursday. That's what those downpours are going to fire up as a secondary low moves in from the west. So today, again, with that slow-moving cold front, it's still just generally damp and cloudy. Closer to sunset, you have any evening plans? Well, there will be some peaks of sunshine. It will dry up, a pretty nice evening. Overnight lows fall into the 60s. Patchy fog develops tomorrow morning, and then sunshine moves in the afternoon. A pretty nice day for the middle of the week. Then by Wednesday night, we'll see that low pressure move in again. It's not widespread rainfall, but some spotty downpours. You can see them pop up here and there as that front moves over our area throughout the day. Still, temperatures will be ranging from the upper 70s to as high as the mid 80s across much of the area, as it looks generally unsettled lingering through early Friday, and then we dry a little bit on Saturday. But the most important forecast here is Boilermaker Sunday. Now here's a look at what takes place through two separate models here, model guidance. Over here, rainfall in the morning. Over here, rainfall in the afternoon. Which one are we agreeing with? Well, more so with this here. We're thinking it starts out dry. Temperatures 60s and 70s, rainfall and a few thunderstorms developing throughout the afternoon. We're going to fine tune that forecast, of course, as the days get closer. But for now, we're going to watch those storms develop throughout the day. Either way, the next several days, seasonable. Typical of mid-July, temperatures in the low 80s with some rain and storm chances and some sunshine chances. Not too bad of a stretch as we enter the final week before the Boilermaker. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We are back with News Talk. Our guest.
We're getting closer and closer to Boilermaker weekend. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Yeah, and I do have some updates for that. Getting a break from the heat today. Temperatures in the 70s, cloud cover in place. It looks like it's going to turn out to be a hot summer here across central New York. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet. I can't rule out a very brief shower as we head into this evening. I think the majority of us will stay dry. 77 degrees, the current temperature. It's very humid, dew point 66, and that's going nowhere. It's going to stay humid throughout the remainder of the week. We'll be tracking a couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms here and there, but no particular day looks to be a washout. And looking ahead to the weekend, it is looking hot and humid as we get into both Saturday and Sunday. And Boilermaker Sunday looks very warm in the morning. We could also be tracking the chance for some rain as we head into the day. We'll take a look at that a little bit closer coming up in just a bit. Mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 70s this evening. Again, a very warm and humid week ahead. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Happening tonight, a man and woman.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A much cooler day today after a hot day yesterday. Let's jump ahead to the weekend. Just want to give you an update on Boilermaker. We're still trying to figure out if it's going to rain or not, or when it's going to rain. We have two different ideas on the table. One of them would bring showers around for the morning. The other one would bring them into the afternoon. One thing that is consistent, it looks very humid as we head into the weekend. So we'll continue to follow that and keep you updated. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. A few sprinkles are possible as we head into this evening. I'm tracking a few just south of Syracuse. These will not last very long and not cause any big issues. Yesterday in western New York, actually closer to Rochester, there was an EF2 tornado that touched down. And so for New York State as a whole, we're up to 5 tornadoes for the year. Of course, 2 of them that happened in our local area in Oneida County. Reminder, you can always get weather alerts on your phone by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Much different day today. It's a lot cooler. The cloud cover is keeping temperatures in the 70s. It's very humid, but we are looking at a temperature of 77 degrees. The humidity is going to stick around over the next several days. That is going nowhere. If anything, it's going to ramp up as we head into the weekend. It could be feeling tropical by Saturday with dew points close to 70. West Berlin, 77 degrees. Little Falls, 82. Inlet, 75. Across Southern Valleys, Cooperstown, 78. Oneonta, 77. The weather stays relatively quiet. We have a stalled, very weak front that's going to hang around over the next couple of days. And this could generate a shower or a thunderstorm, generally in the afternoon, and they're looking scattered. So for the most part, the weather stays quiet over the next couple of days. It's very humid. Overnight lows tonight drop into the low 60s. Clouds tomorrow morning give way to a few breaks of sunshine, a warm afternoon, and I can't rule out an isolated shower as we head into the afternoon time, especially north of the Mohawk Valley. On Thursday, partly sunny skies. We start out with temperatures in the low 70s. A pop-up shower or thunderstorm is possible with high temperatures in the low 80s. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 64. Tomorrow, another humid afternoon. An isolated shower, 83 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It's just a very humid and very warm week ahead. I think we'll be below 90, but not by much. We're looking at highs in the mid-80s Thursday and Friday, scattered showers and storms. Looks dry on Saturday, 88. And again, the chance for rain Sunday, we'll keep you updated on that, of course. 87 in the afternoon, but look at the overnight low, 71.
That's going to be a little bit sticky that morning.
It's going to be not looking as comfortable this year. We'll see.
All right. Thank you, Bill. at least one missing.
Maribel Gonzalez reports on the recovery efforts.
I've never seen anything as horrific.
As search and rescue efforts in central Texas enter day 5, we're getting a clearer picture of the breadth of the devastation.
Just the magnitude is unbelievable. One of the worst that I've ever seen.
According to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, more than 20 state agencies, 1,750 personnel, and more than 975 vehicles and other assets are responding to the aftermath of the flooding. While the forecast for the area has improved, crews are still struggling against the debris and the elements.
It's extremely treacherous, time-consuming. It's dirty work.
Search operations are also taking a mental toll.
Hardest part is working through the emotions. We know that there's children missing and there's families missing.
Wellness professionals are on hand to support responders as they deal with difficult recoveries. Still, crews remain hopeful that more of the unaccounted for will be found alive.
There's always hope. I've done this long enough. I've found people 4 days later and 20 foot up in a tree.
In hard-hit Kerr County, where the majority of deaths occurred, the community continues to question the timing of state officials' response to the disaster.
It was between 4 or 5 when I got notified. Okay, but prior to that, in that 3 to 4 area, my understanding is, and we're in the process of trying to put a timeline. That's going to take a little bit of time.
In Kerrville, Texas, I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Coming up, the TSA could be changing.
Just Bill Curtis.
So we have a full moon that's coming in on Thursday night, so you should be able to see it pretty well tonight between clouds. The moon rises at 7:30 and sets at about 3:45 in the morning. Again, the full moon on schedule for Thursday of this week. A very hot week ahead. Temperatures are going to be consistently in the 80s. Will be in the upper 80s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it remains humid throughout the week too. Well, with the humidity comes the chance for pop-up showers and thunderstorms, mainly during the afternoons over the next 3 days. So live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Pretty quiet out there this evening. Can't rule out a very brief shower. Otherwise, temperatures are going to be in the 70s. A little bit more comfortable today compared to yesterday when we were in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. If you're taking the dog out for a walk, again, the weather is a little bit more favorable for that. Tonight's featured dog, Abella from Cassville. This is brought to you by Nissan. Kristen, back to you.
An estimated 39 million.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A cooler day today. Temperatures this afternoon only made it to the 70s. Compare that to 93 degrees yesterday. Which, by the way, we hit 90 degrees 5 times this summer. 5 times. That's usually the average of the whole summer. So we're way ahead of schedule. Also, too, we had completely dry conditions at Griffiths and Rome over the weekend, so that streak that we've been keeping track of officially comes to an end. We haven't had a completely rain or snow-free weekend at Griffiths since November 17th and 18th, so it's been a long time, but we can add this weekend to the list. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, a couple of sprinkles out there. Reminder, you can always track weather on the go by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Live look at downtown Utica. A little bit less cloud cover now compared to the past several hours. 77 degrees is the current temperature, getting some breaks of sunshine. It's cooler, but it's still humid. Dew points are still in the 60s, a little bit down compared to yesterday. The air conditioner will be coming in handy over the next several days as the heat starts to build, the humidity starts to build. By the weekend, the heat index will likely get to 90 degrees, so another stretch of hot weather here as we head into Boilermaker weekend. Speaking of which, we are keeping an eye on the forecast because it's several days out, but it does appear that there could be some showers around on Sunday. The question is when. Right now, we have 2 different ideas on the table, one of them being showers around for the race. The other one keeps the showers to the west and more thunderstorms by the afternoon. Kind of leaning towards this idea, but it's still early, and we'll keep you updated. One thing that we do feel confident about is that it's going to be very humid over the weekend, which means the overnight low only drops into the low 70s. Expect a very warm Boilermaker this year. We'll keep you posted. Trying to get the lawn cut, it's going to be tough to do that in the afternoon. We're going to have a couple of passing showers here and there, a few rumbles of thunder. But if you do want to get the lawn cut, I think tomorrow is going to be your best bet. Again, some showers around heading into Thursday and Friday. Whitesboro, 79 degrees. Micah New Hartford, 78. Norway, Donna with 77. Jeff and Mohawk, 78. Skinevus, 84. We've got a weak area, a weak front that's going to be stuck in central New York, and this is going to be the mechanism that produces a couple of pop-up showers and storms over the next couple of days. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies, overnight lows in the low 60s. Tomorrow, clouds give way to a few breaks of sunshine. There is the chance of a passing shower, especially north, highs in the low 80s. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, overnight lows drop down into the 60s. And then on Thursday, a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms, primarily in the afternoon. Noticeably warmer and humid with highs in the mid-80s. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low of 64. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, an isolated shower, high of 83. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Very warm and humid throughout the week. Showers, thunderstorms possible Thursday and Friday afternoon. Saturday looks dry, 88. Hot, humid for Boilermaker Sunday, 87. Again, the chance for rain, maybe some thunderstorms in the afternoon. Temperatures in the mid-80s as we look ahead to Monday and Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
A cooler day today thanks to cloud cover and the passage of a cold front. We're taking a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. If you're heading out this evening, the weather looks pretty quiet. Here a lot of sprinkles south of the New York State Thruway. Otherwise, it is looking to be a dry and pleasant evening. Temperature of 77 degrees. We've got a dew point of 66, so it is still humid, although it's not as noticeable as yesterday. The humidity is not going anywhere anytime soon. It's actually going to ramp up here throughout the week. We're looking at the chance of pop-up showers and thunderstorms over the next couple of afternoons. And then we're also looking at Boilermaker Sunday. It looks like we're going to be dealing with some hot weather, and we may see a few showers and maybe a rumble of thunder later in the day. Mostly cloudy skies this evening, temperatures in the 70s. Again, tracking a very warm and humid week ahead. We're going to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Happening tonight.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. A very humid, warm week ahead with a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. We're going to jump ahead and take a look at the forecast heading into Boilermaker Sunday. Right now, we are tracking the possibility of rain or maybe some rumbles of thunder. We have two different ideas in the table. So this is not set in stone, but we think that we could have some showers here. I think the best or more likely scenario is going to be the one on the left-hand side here with Boilermaker starting out dry, maybe some thunderstorms in the afternoon. But again, we need a couple more days to iron this out. One thing we do know, it is looking very humid and very warm for Boilermaker Sunday with temperatures starting out in the low 70s. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's quiet out there. It's not quite as hot. Much more comfortable conditions. Reminder, you can always get weather alerts on your phone by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Yesterday, with those thunderstorms that impacted central New York, around 6:30 in the evening, there was an EF2 tornado touchdown in Phelps, which is just east of Rochester, not too far down the New York State Thruway. This makes the tornado count 5 for New York State as a whole for this year, with 2 of them in central New York. Of course, that was early Sunday morning a few weeks ago. Live look at downtown Utica, 77 degrees. Getting a little bit less cloud cover compared to earlier today. It stays very humid throughout the week. That's not going anywhere. The humidity is going to pick up more heading into the weekend. If you're trying to cut the lawn, you're going to have to work around the weather. Tomorrow looks like the best day to do that. Our MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Temperatures a lot cooler today compared to yesterday. Clinton, 80 degrees. Micah New Hartford, 78. Old Forge, 72. Skinevus, 84 degrees. Westford, Dave checking in with 77. A stalled front is going to stay in central New York over the next couple of days. We'll see a couple of pop-up showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder with that, mainly in the afternoons over the next 3 days. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Overnight lows drop down into the low 60s. Tomorrow starts out with mostly cloudy skies. We've got a few breaks of sunshine late. Temperatures climb into the low 80s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies. Chance of a pop-up shower storm as we head into Thursday, mainly in the afternoon. High temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Mostly cloudy tonight, low of 64. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and isolated shower, 83. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It warms up throughout the end of the week into the weekend. Temperatures in the mid 80s Thursday, Friday, pop-up showers and storms. It's looking hot this weekend. The humidity is going to be on the rise too. High temperatures in the upper 80s both Saturday and Sunday. And yes, there is going to be the chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Sunday, likely in the afternoon, but we'll keep you posted. But look at the overnight low, 71 Saturday night into Sunday. That means it's going to be a very warm start, looks like a very warm Boilermaker this year.
Oh, wow. All right, Bill, thank you.
Still to come on News Channel 2. Death toll from the Texas floods has now risen to 110, but officials worry that number is going to go up as rescue crews desperately search for survivors. At least 173 people are still missing. Maribel Gonzalez is in Kerrville, Texas, following the recovery efforts.
Texas state leaders, including Governor Greg Abbott, touring the flood-ravaged areas Tuesday afternoon. Entire communities decimated by ferocious flooding.
What I saw was miles and miles of massive devastation.
This video captured by David Fry, who was vacationing with his family in Kerr County when the storms hit and the floodwaters began to rise.
We just went into alert mode.
Officials say the Guadalupe River rose more than 20 feet in less than 2 hours. Daylight revealing the mass destruction where Fry was staying. Rooms filled with mangled furniture, windows blown out.
There was no advance warning.
More than 100 people have lost their lives, including 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic, which is located next to the Guadalupe River. Dozens are still missing.
Nothing is as heart-wrenching as hearing the stories of what the girls around here, especially the girls at Camp Mystic, went through.
Mexico rescue workers are now joining Texas and federal agencies to scour for survivors. Other states sending help as well. But it's a harrowing and dangerous task.
Conditions along the river are pretty strenuous for searchers. Whenever the water comes up, it takes all the debris down with it.
Governor Abbott saying lawmakers will begin to address the statewide alert system during their upcoming special session. In Kerrville, Texas, I'm Maribel Gonzalez.
Time now for a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Definitely air conditioner mode.
Oh, yeah. We are looking at, it is July. It's supposed to be summer.
Yeah.
But this is going to be warmer than even usual. We're looking at temperatures in the upper 80s for an entire week.
Wow.
Usually we're in the low 80s. That's the average high. So the air conditioner is going to get a workout if you have it. If you don't have air conditioning, maybe you want to second guess that. But again, at least want to keep ways of being cool and stay cool, I should say, over the next couple of days, because we're going to be in the thick of this here for the immediate future. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet across central New York. It is cooling off tonight, a temperature of 70. A little bit muggy outside, but not as muggy as it's been. Temperatures will fall into the low 60s tonight. But again, looking ahead, we've got some warm weather. Looking at highs in the upper 80s here as we get into the weekend with increased humidity. Tonight, you can get away with turning the air conditioner off, give it a break. Temperatures drop into the low 60s. Might need a fan, though. We are tracking, again, a warm, humid week ahead, along with some pop-up thunderstorms. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. It's Tariff Tuesday. President Trump.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are looking ahead to Boilermaker weekend here. And just to give you an idea of where the forecast stands for Boilermaker Sunday, at this point, there are some showers in the forecast for Sunday afternoon. Some of our computer models suggest that there could be some sprinkles in the morning, too. So the jury's still out on this one. Either way, it's looking very humid as we head into Sunday. Very warm weekend is expected. A live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet across the region. Just a reminder, you can always get weather alerts on your phone by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Yesterday, there was a tornado that happened in Phelps, New York. That's out near Rochester. That puts the New York State total to 5 so far this year. Of course, 2 of them happened in our area. That tornado in Phelps, by the way, happened along that same line that produced thunderstorms locally. We didn't see anything quite as significant. But that Phelps tornado was an EF2, which is surprising to see something like that on a relatively benign weather day. And again, it's just something that we'll continue to follow here. And again, we're keeping track of this here throughout the season. Live look in downtown Utica, temperature of 70 degrees. It's going to be humid over the next several days. The humidity starts to rise as we head into the weekend. Again, the air conditioner coming in handy. If you're trying to cut the lawn, it might be a little challenging this week because we've got these pop-up thunderstorms. I think the lowest chance of storms is tomorrow. Thursday and Friday, there'll be some pop-ups in the afternoon, so we're asking people, if you do have to cut the lawn, consider Wednesday as your best chance. If you do want to cut later in the week, again, you're going to have to roll the dice with a few pop-up showers and storms. We've got a stalled front draped across upstate New York and into the Northeast. This is going to create a mechanism to generate showers here over the next couple of days. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight lows drop down into the upper 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. I can't rule out a pop-up shower, especially north of the Mohawk Valley, but most of the day looks dry. Temperatures in the low 80s. Tomorrow night, a few scattered showers, a few pop-up thunderstorms on Thursday, especially in the afternoon. Warm and humid. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Mostly cloudy tonight, low of 64. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and isolated shower, 83. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers, thunderstorms possible Thursday and Friday afternoon. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Boilermaker weekend. Hot, humid. Temperatures in the upper 80s Saturday and Sunday, but it's the overnight low. 71 Saturday night, which means we are looking very warm for the race time, race day.
We always talk about what you got to eat and do and whatever before you go to the Boilermaker. Okay, that's a runner. As a spectator in that, you need to hydrate too. I think a lot of people forget about that.
Yeah.
You should be hydrating now as a runner, but like all weekend, you should be hydrating if you're going to go stand out in the sun and watch it and bring water with you.
At the very least, bring some water with you if you're going to be out for a few hours. It's going to be pretty hot.
It is. All right. Thank you, Bill. Coming up next. An estimated 39 million Americans live with migraines, and excessively hot weather can bring on symptoms and trigger an attack. Mandy Gaither talks to a neurologist about how to avoid summer migraines and headaches.
The heat, the humidity, the changes in barometric pressure all can do a number on your brain.
That is a critical trigger for those who have migraines. It will bring on migraines. It will worsen headaches for those who suffer from underlying headache conditions.
Dr. Ahmad Estamalik with Cleveland Clinic says dehydration often happens in summer, which can bring on headaches and migraines. So the first step in helping yourself avoid them is staying fully hydrated. He says to also know your triggers so you can avoid them. Limit direct sun exposure. Have a healthy lifestyle, which includes quality sleep and not skipping meals. And stay away from food and beverages like alcohol that can cause an attack.
You want to avoid some of the food triggers that can bring on the migraines, just because you don't want to have another component or another trigger that can worsen it.
Estamalik says if you've been prescribed rescue medication, to keep it on hand in case it's needed. And he says to take it early when you feel a migraine coming on. But he warns not to take too much of these medications or over-the-counter painkillers.
If you do that for an extended period of time, say a week or two, it can actually sometimes fire back. We call that rebound headache or medication overuse headache. And before you realize, you could be in an ongoing cycle of headache that tends to be a little bit more difficult to break at times.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. In that toll from the Texas floods has now risen to 110. But officials worry that number will continue to go up as rescue crews desperately search for survivors. At least 173 people are still missing. Maribel Gonzalez is in Kerrville, Texas, following the recovery efforts.
Texas state leaders, including Governor Greg Abbott, touring the flood-ravaged areas Tuesday afternoon. Entire communities decimated by ferocious flooding.
What I saw was miles and miles of massive devastation.
This video captured by David Fry, who was vacationing with his family in Kerr County when the storms hit and the floodwaters began to rise.
We just went into alert mode.
Officials say the Guadalupe River rose more than 20 feet in less than 2 hours. Daylight revealing the mass destruction where Fry was staying. Rooms filled with mangled furniture, windows blown out.
There was no advance warning.
More than 100 people have lost their lives, including 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic, which is located next to the Guadalupe River. Dozens are still missing.
Nothing is as heart-wrenching as hearing the stories of what the girls around here, especially the girls at Camp Mystic, went through.
Mexico rescue workers are now joining Texas and federal agencies to scour for survivors. Other states sending help as well. But it's a harrowing and dangerous task.
Conditions along the river are pretty strenuous for searchers. Whenever the water comes up, it takes all the debris down with it.
Governor Abbott saying lawmakers will begin to address the statewide alert system during their upcoming special session. In Kerrville, Texas, I'm Maribel Gonzalez.
Time now for a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. If you got an air conditioner, now's the time to start using it. Yeah.
Crank it this week.
On high.
Yeah, this is going to be the week to have it for sure. High levels of heat, high levels of humidity. I know it's summer, but this is even warmer than usual, at least for the foreseeable future. By the way, 5 days at 90 degrees at Griffiths and Rome. That's we hit that already as of yesterday. We were 93 yesterday. That's the typical number that we get for the whole summer. So we are way ahead of schedule here. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's quiet out there. Today was a comfortable day with the clouds. We only made it to the upper 70s. Clouds have eroded and we're looking at clear skies this evening, a comfortable 68 degrees. But again, looking ahead, it's going to be a lot warmer and a lot more humid this week. We'll be in the mid to upper 80s, especially as we head into Boilermaker weekend, which could be a very warm race this year. Temperatures tonight will drop down into the low 60s. We can get away with turning off the air conditioner tonight, but again, likely needed for the next couple of days. We're also tracking some thunderstorms too. We're going to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. It's Tariff Tuesday. President.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're jumping ahead to Boilermaker Sunday. We're taking a look at the forecast here. There's a chance for rain. I think it's going to be more of an afternoon thing, and it could be accompanied by some thunder. But some of our computer models say that there might be some showers here early, too. So we're still kind of ironing out these details. We are confident that there's going to be a lot of humidity heading into the weekend. This could be a very warm Boilermaker. Right now, it looks like overnight lows will only be in the low 70s. So that could end up being a very warm start to Sunday. We'll keep you posted. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet across the region. Reminder, you can get weather alerts to your phone if you're on the go by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Yesterday's thunderstorms locally didn't do a whole lot, but to the west, one of them ended up producing an EF2 tornado in Phelps, New York, which is out near the Rochester region. That happened Monday at just after 6:30. Thankfully, nobody was injured or seriously hurt, but this puts the New York State tornado count to 5. That includes 2 of them in our local area. That happened a few weekends ago, of course. But again, yesterday, that event, that EF2 tornado, happening on a relatively benign weather day, so that was a surprise to many of us. Live look in downtown Utica, temperature of 68 degrees. Very humid conditions will continue as we head into the rest of the week. The humidity builds throughout the week, so by the weekend it becomes downright tropical. So again, the air conditioner is going to be coming in very handy. Trying to get the lawn cut, I think tomorrow is going to be your best bet. It does look generally dry. Our MoCast brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Thursday, Friday, iffy. We'll have a few pop-up showers and storms in the afternoon. Any rain we do get, it's going to take a while to dry in the high humidity. Bigger picture shows a stalled front draping right across the northeast. Right now, it's hard to even pick out because there's not a lot of showers and thunderstorms with it because it's so weak. We will see a few of these flare up in the afternoons over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, really not much activity is expected, so it's mostly cloudy to start. Temperatures in the upper 60s. Throughout the afternoon, a few breaks of sunshine, highs in the low 80s, maybe a sprinkle to the north, but again, a pretty quiet day. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy skies. The chance for showers and thunderstorms Thursday, especially in the afternoon, high temperatures in the mid 80s. Mostly cloudy tonight, low of 64. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and isolated shower, 83. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It does turn a lot more humid Thursday, Friday, pop-up showers and storms, especially in the afternoon. Highs in the mid 80s, a very warm weekend. Upper 80s both Saturday, Sunday. Saturday looks dry. Again, there could be a thunderstorm Sunday afternoon. But again, the bigger story, that overnight low of 71 Saturday night could lead to a very warm start Boilermaker Sunday.
Well, folks like to celebrate because the Boilermakers here. Keep drinking water. Save the celebration for Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Coming up next, an estimated 39 million Americans live with migraines, and excessively hot weather can bring on symptoms and trigger an attack. Mandy Gaither talks to a neurologist about how to avoid summer migraines and headaches.
The heat, the humidity, the changes in barometric pressure all can do a number on your brain.
That is a critical trigger for those who have migraines. It will bring on migraines. It will worsen headaches for those who suffer from underlying headache conditions.
Dr. Ahmad Estamalik with Cleveland Clinic says dehydration often happens in summer, which can bring on headaches and migraines. So the first step in helping yourself avoid them is staying fully hydrated. He says to also know your triggers so you can avoid them. Limit direct sun exposure. Have a healthy lifestyle, which includes quality sleep and not skipping meals. And stay away from food and beverages like alcohol that can cause an attack.
You want to avoid some of the food triggers that can bring on the migraines just because you don't want to have another component or another trigger that can worsen it.
Estamalik says if you've been prescribed rescue medication, to keep it on hand in case it's needed. And he says to take it early when you feel a migraine coming on. But he warns not to take too much of these medications or over-the-counter painkillers.
If you do that for a extended period of time, say a week or two, it can actually sometimes fire back. We call that rebound headache or medication overuse headache. And before you realize, you could be in an ongoing cycle of headache that tends to be a little bit more difficult to break at times.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.